but I believe this is the quest that we want to be doing. I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure this is it, because unbeknownst to me and unbeknownst to the patch notes, well, not unbeknownst to them, but hidden from them, I suppose, there is a bonus, I couldn't think of the right way of saying that, a bonus emoticon that has been added to this, which apparently I've hidden from myself. I don't know what it is, but apparently it's quite sad, and that makes me think that this quest line is going to be sad, given where we're receiving it. I think it's going to be about a pathway walk. Yep, this is the right one. About a certain deceased friend that we recently saw. Well, let's do this then. Deep in thought, the House 4-time manservant reflects upon a day not so very long ago. 'Twas bitterly cold when you first came to our city, when I stood waiting for you before the Ark of the Worthy. To think that was where it all began. How much has changed since that day? Forgive me, of late I have been studying the words of the Balladian. I recently came across them. Poet King, who wrote, "To ye who ask of things to come, give thought of what is past and gone." So rarely have we the luxury to reflect on the choices we have made, on how they have shaped our lives and the lives of others. Even I, a mere steward, whose deeds would not merit a footnote in the annals of history, can see the value in this. I say this to you, Master Ballius, because as you move, so too does the world. Pray spare a moment to contemplate your journey while you can. The road stretches on, obscured by an endless veil of snow. Somewhere in the white beyond stood the great iron gates, and on the other side a humble manservant who waited the coming of 3 travellers. Okay. I guess we're going back across our journey, which is even better than I thought. This is going to be a great way to finish off this Heavensward, or the Dragon Song War storyline. Alright, so we need to go to the Jeweled Crozier. A lot of people, I just thought, a lot of people were saying that they couldn't find Thancred between these patches, which is weird because you normally can. And we found out exactly why, I suppose. A warm welcome to you, Master Ballius. To what do I owe the pleasure? Retracing your steps from those first days in Ishgard, I see. Well, no one could begrudge you for indulging in a little nostalgia. I am reminded how much I owe you and yours. Lest you forget, foreign merchants were subject to a frankly unreasonable level of scrutiny until relatively recently. Not so now, however. Now goods from every corner of Eorzea flow into our markets, and that, my friend, is change we can all appreciate. Merchants of all nations speak a common tongue, and its words are coin. Needless to say, there is little profit to be had in prejudice, especially against those who have received the patronage of a count. Thus, when the wards of House 4-Tom arrived at market, she was only too happy to make their acquaintance. Ha! I wrote down your name. I'm gonna have to flip over my notebook. It's Gibrion. Bum bum bum. Ba. Bum. What'll it be then? Ale? Mulled wine? No, no, don't tell me. Tea. Oh, so it's to be memories then, is it? No, there's a bit of drought that'll leave you wanting. Assuming you can remember your own name, that is. Take your friend Tataru. One moment she's just another girl waiting on customers, clearing tables and so forth. Next she's got a dozen admirers asking after her every bloody night. And I'll be damned if I can remember how it happened. Singing those stupid songs, dancing those daft dances. Though, to be honest, I think it was her stories that really won him over. Stories of a certain hero's grand adventures across Eorzea, told with a flair that had put the minstrel to shame. Who doesn't love a good hero's tale, am I right? Hells, we've even got one about the man who built this tavern. Was one of the founding fathers of Ishgard, so it goes. Now, as the Enchiridion told it, besides Eldrath, the only knights who survived the battle with Nidhogg were the founders of the High Houses. Of course, these days, we know better than to put too much stock in the words of the church, eh? But there's more to our tale than just words. There's a sword too, one which has been passed down from proprietor to proprietor since before anyone can remember. She's a rusty old bugger, but if you look closely at the handle, you can just about make out an inscription. Brothers brave and true, live well, forgotten and content. A man who forsook wealth and fame and chose the life of a humble tavern keeper. It's just a tale, of course, albeit a good one. As for the truth, who can say, friend? Who can say? Well, I can, but he knew everyone's story, though he would never share his own. An optimist, he wanted to believe the best in people. Sometimes their faith would be rewarded, other times betrayed. But he would listen, regardless, and he would hope. Camp Cloudtop. Do 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 do. This really has been a beautiful patch though. I think, just to be fair to him, where is he? He's hiding is where he is. After he actually helped for once. Seems fitting somewhat. Visit Laniet at Camp Cloudtop. Master Barrios, I was but this moment thinking of you. I hope to speak with you. You at Sir Emmeric's investiture. But circumstances conspired to prevent me from attending. Mayhap you will allow me to say now what I could not say then. On behalf of House Helenard and all of Ishgard, I offer unto you my deepest and most humble thanks. You risked your life to stand against our sworn enemy and freed us from a millennium of torment. Though we can never hope to repay you, we will ever remember you and your deeds, that our children and their children's children might know the man to whom they owe their lives. Nah, it's fine. I concede that the grand investiture would have been a more fitting occasion for such words, but I could not risk them being left unspoken. What brings you this way? As you can see, Camp Cloudtop remains much the same as it did during the war, though we no longer watch the skies for Dravanian outflyers. The Vanu have proven themselves similarly worthy of our attention. Oh, what a lucky coincidence. I say, old boy, you have the most uncanny ability to appear whenever I least expect you. But enough about that. Onawa? Yes, my lord. Lady Lanyard, I am pleased to report that we succeeded in infiltrating the Vandu territory, and there observed the beastmen harvesting crystals at several different sites. That is actually quite worrying. Based on the volume of crystals acquired during the period of surveillance, I have prepared an estimate of how much time I believe it would take for the Vandu to gather sufficient crystals for another summoning. I have also taken the liberty of drafting several proposals outlining how the Rose Knights might prevent such an eventuality, such as raiding these sites and securing their stores, as well as detailed assessments of the risks involved should you choose to proceed. Ahem. By the Fury! I gathered you were clever, but I was not aware that you were capable of this. With respect, you are wasted on your master. Hard-working, full of potential? I think there's a place for you here, with the Rose Knights, if you would have it. That you would even consider taking me into your service is a tremendous honor, my lady, and were I free to do so, I would gladly accept, but I am pledged to another, as you well know. Regrettable, but understandable. I take comfort in the fact that a youth of your talent and character will never want for opportunities. Pledged to another? You rascal! I thought I saw you whispering in young Solet's ear the other day. You certainly wasted no time wooing our newest maid. There'll be no secrets between us. You must tell me everything. Where have you been sneaking off to together? What adventures have you been having? Every little detail. And don't you dare leave anything out. Yeah. I am sure he will not. In any event, you have jointly exceeded my expectations. I grant you leave to return to the city. Should the need arise, I shall call upon you again. Thank you, my lady. I believe we shall do as you suggest, until we meet again, Master Ballius. Say, not so fast. The next airship isn't due for another hour, and we have so much to talk about. Onawa! Onawa! For all the lady's disdain, it was an old familiar face. To her, Lord Amanalayan would always be the boy fumbling for a compliment, and perhaps there was comfort in that. A memory of home on the bleak frontier. Visit Redward at Falcon's Nest. I have a feeling where we're going to be going last, but I'll keep that hidden. I've already sort of mentioned it once. Oh no, it's up that way. It feels like forever since I've been here, but really it hasn't. I'm still shocked by the fact that they're saying that was all happening in like a few days. 1,000 pardons, Master Ballius. Had I known you were planning to pay us a visit, I would have seen that you received a proper reception. A feast, perhaps. Or at least a formal welcome with the men in full dress. Nah, no need for that. You have more than earned it. One need only look to the pilgrims who come in their droves to pray before the relief to see the truth of that. Some abide in silence while others shed tears, not for sorrow, you understand, but for joy. Joy of being released from Nidhogg's torment. Sir Redwald, the shipment has been unloaded and the quartermaster confirms that all supplies are accounted for. Ah, Mr. Bellius, are you here on official business? Nah, I'm just reminiscing, really. A journey to remember and reflect. Aye, much has changed since we first came here together, since I abandoned you to follow the Heltix trail alone. Come, my lord. Mayhap you recall the survivor whom you carried back to the Falcon's Nest that day. Well, his wife but recently gave birth to their first child. Is that so? Well, mayhap I should pay him a visit. Though he would doubtless be honoured, my lord, you need not put yourself to such trouble. Your responsibilities as Count surely leave little enough time as it is. Think not on it. I am still me and you are still you. Whatever our respective titles, I would speak to you as a friend. This preoccupation with position and power has sown no end of discord between our two houses, to the great detriment of our nation. 'Tis especially galling when one considers that much of what we have achieved was by virtue of our blood and not our character. So call me Count if you must, but know that I take no pride in it. Mayhap one day, when I have earned it, I will, but not today. To himself, isn't he? An honourable man, mindful of tradition, he was loath to accept the assistance of a foreigner in exile, but when forced to confront bitter truths, he looked within and found himself wanting. Pride be damned then, if it lead one astray. He would set aside his prejudice and join hands with this gifted outcast for the greater good of Ishgard. Oh God. Visit the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Holotic Inquisitory Doctorate, which I believe is in... Yeah, that it should be... Yeah, right next to here. So we want to go to the Tribunal. Actually, rather than teleporting for once, I'm going to crash into that. Actually use a correct doorway. So we're actually taking an airship there for once. Tribunal, please. Would have possibly been a little bit quicker to teleport, but I don't care. This is a journey of remembrance, not a journey of speed. Two foreign heretics against two knights of the Heaven's Ward. Under the watchful gaze of the fury they would fight, and the winner's claims would be proven true. It was the opening gambit of a greater game, whose stakes would remain unknown for some time. And this is the trial that Alfino and Tataru were under, if you were wondering. Visit the Hopalon. My brain has died as to where that is. Oh, right next to where I am. If I'd actually looked at the map in the upper corner, I'd see that. Do do do. You are Master Ballius, if I am not mistaken. We have met, though I am sure you do not remember. 'Twas a seeming lifetime ago, when you answered the Archbishop's summons. I often came here to reflect upon all that has come to pass, and when I saw you gazing at the Holy Vault, I thought perhaps you had too. You turned our world upside down, everything we held dear, for change, for truth. They say it had to be done, that his grace sought godhood, if so, that perhaps it was the Fury's will that you prevailed. But to say it, to believe it, I know that no man is without sin, but he was pious and humble, wholly devoted to the church and his people. I knew him, sir, and he was a good man. Whatever else he may have been, I will remember him as a good man. I don't doubt he was a good man, he just did it the wrong way. To walk the righteous path, to live for the sake of others, to rise to the highest station, yet remain powerless to bring an end to your people's suffering. What price salvation then? What sacrifice beyond reason? For uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Oh God, Limsa? Oh yeah, we went to her, didn't we? This is odd that it is actually making me reminisce on all of this.